APPmanago Mobile Marketing Automation. APPmanago is a system for monitoring and automating marketing activities for your mobile application. APPmanago is a tool for the SalesManago tool and allows you to analyze user behavior, track their location, and deliver marketing messages in the mobile application channel. Both systems, namely APPmanago and SalesManago, are integrated, providing full analysis and provide multi-channel communication with the client. The dashboard of APPmanago Marketing Automation can be seen when you log into the system. The main dashboard allows quick access to necessary information and transparent view of the most important statistics. First, we have the time range. Here, we can select from what period the data will be displayed. An example being past month, previous week. Moving on, the balance sheet is the view for the numbers representing new and deactivated users. Deactivated users are those who have removed the application. The number of applications launched determines how often the monitored application was started. The average module time is an average amount of time that users spend in the application modules. Next, we have the active percentage. The active percentage is a statistic for the percentage of active users in relation to the number of installed applications. Users by frequency of use graph shows users in terms of frequency of use of the monitored application. You can find out more about the frequency of use at this link. Average time of displaying the module is a graphical representation of the average time of display of individual modules, which will allow to select the most frequently used module in a transparent way. Lastly, we have the most used functions graph. This graph is a graphical representation of the amount of use of an individual function, which will allow you to clearly select the most frequently used function. The next panel available in the platform is the applications. We'll proceed to applications, then application list. Here we can create an app in a simple creator. Give it the name of the application and then the ID, we can save the application and thus support more than one application in the system. Next, we have the custom events. Likewise here, we can view the previously created custom events or create a new one. In this panel, we also have the ability to analyze and create an external event. An exemplary external event can be a situation if your mobile application has the ability to generate purchases. Want to know how often and what purchases your customers make? We can create such an external event. For me, it will be a purchase. I choose the value number below because I want to collect the information about the price. This will be the price of the product and then the price field name. We can also add additional fields for the custom event itself. By creating an external event, we can measure how often and at what value your customers make a purchase. You can add or remove additional fields at any time. After completing the configuration, let's click on a Save button, and then we can go to the Users tab. Let's start with the users list. The users list is sorted primarily by the operating system that they use. After selecting the Global tab, all contacts will be displayed, both those that use Android and iOS operating system. We can search for contacts individually by name using the text field, or alternatively, we can find a random contact by pressing on a random contact button. After pressing this button, the system will draw a contact and display its contact card on the screen. Here we have a couple of options. The first one is to send a notification. After clicking, select the notification from the list, and the selected notification will be sent as a direct notification to that user. Clicking on Random Contact again will take us to another contact randomly drawn from a list of users. The Delete Contact option allows us to permanently delete the contact from the list, and the Copy User ID button allows us to copy the unique code that is given to every user. This code is used in a system when, for example, you want to send a test push notification or an in-app notification to the given contact. What you're seeing here is a collection of data that we have gathered on the contact. This is the user's mobile profile. It's a set of basic information such as their email address, name of the application that user uses, the device's language, and its operating system, system version, last location, and many more. From here, we can proceed to dynamic segments to create a new dynamic segment or view one of the previously made ones. This section allows you to define an appropriate group of users based on their actions in the monitored application and information about other applications on your phone. Dynamic segments are used in a system as a form of addressing in the system, as an example, by sending a web push notification. You can address them using a dynamic segment. If the contact at the time of dispatch is in a dynamic segment, the notification will be sent to such user groups. The next panel in a Users tab is User Properties. Here, again, we can view a list of previously made user properties or create a new one. The next section is the Automation panel. Here, we can create new automation rules for your applications and view the current ones, including their statistics, as well as being able to edit already established automation rules. The next creator is to create scheduled actions. Again, here we can view a list of previously made scheduled actions or to create a new one. We have to pick a name, the date at which the action will be performed, which dynamic segment the action will apply for, and what action will be performed. Once we drag and drop the action, we'll be able to select its individual settings. We can also delay the action by specifying an amount of time, or make it circular, making it a recurring action after a specified amount of time passes. Once we are done with our settings, we can save the action for it to be scheduled. The next panel is the communication panel. Here, we'll be able to send notifications and perform A/B tests. The first action available is a push notification. Again, in this panel, as in previous ones, we can see a full list of previously made push notifications, as well as being able to copy them. In the creator itself, we have 3 different kinds of push notifications: a regular notification, a deep link, or a dialog notification. Each type of notification has its own distinct settings, which we can choose below, including the name, the content that will be displayed in the notification itself, which can be seen on a preview pane on the right-hand side, as well as a few advanced options at the end. You also have the option in the creator to test the notification itself by sending it to a contact of your choice by entering their user ID. Don't forget, you have 2 different display views for each notification: the mobile device, tablet, or phone view. Next, we have in-app notifications, or notifications that will be displayed when the application of your choice is being displayed on the screen. Here we have a 4-step process of creating the notification itself. Once we determine the location of the notification itself, we can choose between 3 different combinations of structure, including a picture, text, or both. Each notification can also have a select amount of buttons. On the design and content stage, we'll be able to determine what text will be displayed on a notification itself, as well as the image itself. On the next stage, we'll be able to determine what each button says and what the corresponding action for each button is. Once you are satisfied with your settings, you can save it to be displayed in the in-app notification menu. The last setting in a communication channel is the A/B testing. For those of you familiar with the marketing term, A/B testing in APPmanago is very similar to A/B testing for emails, except in this case, we are determining which web push notification is the better one. Starting from the top, we have the name of the test, the date at which the test will be performed, which dynamic segment the test will be performed on, and ladder settings. Do remember that you would have to create the web push first before starting the test in order for it to appear in a list for either test A or B. Alternatively, clicking on a plus icon to the right hand side will take you immediately to the creator. In the next panel, we can also create beacon groups and view the monitoring statistics for the beacon groups themselves. The next panel is the analytics panel, and here we'll be able to view various stats for your applications. The first one is the users analytics panel. And here you can see the amount of growth or decline in the user amount for each app. Keep in mind that the graph is affected by the time setting on the top right corner of the site. The secondary graph shows the total amount of application launches for the time frame selected. The next analytics panel is for automation rules. In automation rule analytics, you'll be able to view the total amount of launches for each specific rule. By selecting an individual rule in the list, you can view more in-depth statistics over how many times the automation rule has been launched. Or you can compare multiple automation rules together in a graph below. Let's move on to the next panel. The next view is the statistics for the push notifications for our applications. First, we have each push notification sorted by which operating system they've been on. And, as usual, the time settings on the top right corner. The panel itself displays how many notifications have been sent, the application launch due to the web push, and the average time spent in-app. We also have a deep comparison between our web pushes to see which one is most effective. To view individual statistics for a web push, we can click on Details on the bottom list. Here we can see more in-depth statistics, specifically for this one selected web push, and be able to compare it between different operating systems. The in-app notification analytics works in a similar fashion. In the in-app analytics, you have a few additional options. First, you can see which part of the in-app notification has been clicked the most and with most frequency. Like in a previous analytics, you can compare two or more notifications together to see how they compare against each other. And see which users the notification has been sent to. The next panel is for path analysis. In here, you can see the progression between modules of your apps to see the progression between the users. You can see the graphs for individual modules and see conversion between each one. The final analytics panel is for A/B testing. Here you can view the results of the previous A/B tests. You can compare the influence and the efficiency between multiple web pushes in your A/B testing. You can also see the increase offered by performing the test itself. The next section of the application is the gallery. In here, you can see the full scope of all the graphical resources that you have used between your application notifications. Here you can manage, sort, and group different types of images for ease of use. The last panel is for general settings for APPmanago. First, you can create the integration with existing SalesManago accounts, with Google Firebase Cloud messaging accounts, and Apple push notification service accounts. Keep in mind, you need to have a created account for each of these platforms in order to integrate them. The last panel is for general account settings, including the default language of the panel, resetting your password, and general account information such as the amount of active users for your account and the vendor ID for your specific instance of the account itself. For more information on APPmanago and its functionalities, you can contact our support staff at support@salesmanago.com.